All right, guys, what's going on? Levi Trumbull reporting here. So today we're going to introduce you to somebody, and to start off, we're just going to put him up on the screen before you. The man that you are now seeing, this is a photograph of Ricky Lee Shafer Jr., and we actually pulled this photograph off of the Maryland Sex Offenders Registry. I guess you could call him a freshman class, a newcomer on the Sex Offenders Registry. And I'll be honest with you guys, this is a story that we're about to get into, but it involves a situation that I have been privy to for quite some time now, and I now finally want to bring you the case of this now convicted sex offender. This situation right here that we are about to bring before this audience is one of the most disturbing situations, detestable, disgusting, heinous situations that I have ever seen. Now, we're about to tell you how it is that this Ricky Lee Shafer Jr. found himself to be a sex offender on the registry. It all starts with, of course, a criminal proceeding, a criminal litigation. In this case, an indictment filed in the Circuit Court for Frederick County, Maryland, against this individual. Now, this guy was indicted on 16 felony counts. They range from the possession of child pornography to distribution of child pornography, all the way up to extortion, blackmail, and causing minors to actually produce child pornography. Of course, that was through blackmail, but we'll get into that in just one moment. Now, I just want to state for the record that at this point, this defendant in question, obviously, since he is a registered offender on the Maryland Sex Offenders Registry, at this point, he has been adjudicated guilty as it relates to 3 of the charges laid out in the indictment. And he took a voluntary plea to 3 charges back in March of 2022. And the first charge that he pled guilty to was causing a minor to engage in a sex act, and then the second and third charge he voluntarily pled guilty to was relating to the possession of child pornography. We are going to get into what it is that is alleged he did. So it starts off with saying that a detective with the Frederick County Sheriff's Office received a cyber tip from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. It lists actually a few cyber tips on here, but it goes on to state that the report was submitted by the public concerning online enticement and blackmail. The reporting person is the child's victim's mother, and both the mother of the child victim and the child victim were on the phone call. So evidently there was a phone call into the NCMEC, and they took a report of it and they submitted it to the proper jurisdiction, which would be Frederick County Sheriff's Office. Through this tip, the suspect's social media accounts that were reported during the incident were as follows. So it contained an Instagram, a Snapchat, and a Cash App. So the Instagram was silence_241, Snapchat Jason Witt, and then the Cash App was $getpaid. Now, obviously, the defendant in this case, his name was not Jason Witt, it's Ricky Lee Shafer Jr. So right off the bat, somebody's online utilizing fake names, fake accounts to do something nefarious. But moving on, after this information was received, the detective in question served subpoenas upon Instagram, and they provided to the detective some information as it relates to this Instagram account, silence_241, and as part of that disclosure of records to the detective, came back 5 files containing child exploitative material. We're not going to get into the descriptions of what specifically they entailed, but nonetheless, 5 files containing highly illegal subject matter containing to a female underage victim. With that, they used some of the IP logs associated with the Instagram account to serve a subpoena onto Comcast Communications. Comcast put forth a batch of records to the detective, and they were able to link back the IP address to an address on Hames Court in Frederick County, Maryland, 21703. At that address, they discovered an individual by the name of Lee Shafer Jr., and they actually served a warrant upon the residence upon this individual, and they seized his electronic devices. They did a forensic examination on the devices, and they were able to confirm information that correlated with the original cyber tip from the National Center for Exploited and Missing Children. After that, they conducted forensic interviews on 3 minor females in Frederick County that they were able to link back utilizing the records from the NCMEC and the various record releases from the Instagram accounts. They were able to find those underage victims, and they were able to conduct forensic interviews on them to get to the bottom of how they had come into communication with this Lee Shafer individual. The first victim in the case was a 13-year-old female who said that this person was messaging her on Instagram trying to ask for naked pictures of her, and she originally did not want to do it. However, he was offering a large amount of money that he could send to her Cash App, and so she started to slowly send some images in. A few dollars came in, $10 here, $15 there, and then he would start to say, well, if you send me, more revealing photos, the amount of money will go up. And so she would start to send photos, and this was the catch. After the photos would be sent, this defendant would say that, well, the photos were not good enough, they weren't clear enough, I don't like the angle, your hand's in the way of this, your arm's in the way of that. You need to provide me better photographs, better videos, longer videos, more clear videos, closer up videos, videos of you doing X, Y, and Z, and if you don't do that, then here's where the extortion comes in. Then I will blackmail you. I will take these videos, photographs, images, and I will send them to your followers, to your friends, to people that you know, and then that is how he would not only get these victims to continuously send images, but he would also get them, in some cases, to send the money that he had paid them back to him. And I'm not even going to get too specific, but this is very graphic stuff. The kinds of images that he was asking these minors to produce were very graphic in nature. There's some mention in here about wanting to watch this 13-year-old female victim pee all over her bed. He was very obsessed with images of this person peeing all over everything, pee on the floor, pee on the bed. He had a pee fetish, evidently, so just really weird stuff and very extortive behavior. He makes it very clear in a lot of these messages what he's going to do. He's very dominant in these conversations, he's very authoritative, and it is creepy, it's weird, it's wrong, and this individual is sick. We move on to the second victim. Now, again, just like the first victim, what Ricky did was he slid into this person's DMs and he said, can I pay you, can I Cash App you money in exchange for nude photographs of you? Now, what this person did, and this female was older, she was 16 years old at the time that this had transpired. She actually went to an adult website and sent photos of somebody else to Ricky. Instead of taking photographs of herself, she sent somebody else's pictures she found online. And just like the first time, he's trying to blackmail her, saying, I'm going to put these photos out of you on the internet, I'm going to send them to your followers, and obviously didn't have the same impact as the first person because the photos were not actually of her. Moving on to the third victim in the case, it is described that she is a 16-year-old female, Frederick County, and like the other two, she was direct messaged on Instagram by this silence_241 account, and this person was offering her $200 for nude photographs of her. What she actually did was she sent a photograph of the top portion of her body. He said that he would give her $200 on Cash App if she did that, and it looks like she did in fact go through with that. And then he actually tried to make her do more images, more things that she was uncomfortable with. When she wouldn't do it, it looks like he evidently, in this case, did actually take that material and forward it to one of her friends on Instagram. He sent it through a direct message to one of her followers, and that person on Instagram actually direct messaged the victim in this case, the 16-year-old female who had provided that photograph to him, and one of her followers sent it to her because they had received it from him. So now, obviously, she's very freaked out because people are now messaging her these intimate photographs. Of course, she is a minor. That's very distressing. It's a very distressing situation to be having people send you things like that when those were supposed to be private. And that right there is the gist of what this individual was found guilty of doing. That is the conduct which he was behaving in. The affidavit of probable cause ends with the first victim, the 13-year-old female. He was charged with 12 counts relating to her. With the second victim, who was 16, he was charged with 2 counts. And with the third victim, who was also the same age, he was also charged with 2 counts as it relates to her. So again, a total of 16 felony charges for this individual, 3 of which he would go on to plead guilty to. And honestly, guys, he is now on the sex offenders registry in the state of Maryland, rightfully so. And I just want to let you guys know that I bring this story to you not to really shock anyone's conscience. I think I did a good job at not getting too graphic with the details, but this story in particular, when I sit here and I review it on this laptop here, which has the full unredacted details, I find it very worthwhile to bring this story to everyone's attention because this is an individual that the public, in my opinion, should know about, should definitely be on the lookout for, because this is somebody who has a repeated pattern. And again, these are only 3 people listed in this charging document. You know that there has to be dozens of other underage minor female victims, presumably who he was doing this also with. So a very serious case. It is good to know that authorities got this guy off of the street. They identified this person online using these false pseudonyms to try to trick minors into doing things that they absolutely should not be doing. A successful grab, a good prosecution by the state's attorney's office, and a story that we definitely wanted to bring to everyone's attention given the totality, like we said, of circumstances. Just a very, very disgusting case. And with that, Levi Trumbull reporting, and we will catch you guys the next time.